You walk into a massive sports bar, order your wings, look up, and there are like 16 different games playing perfectly in sync. It looks like magic.
Yeah, it really does.
Right. But behind the drywall, I mean, the technological plumbing required to prevent a microscopic audio delay from ruining your game is honestly mind-boggling. So today, we are ripping open the AV closet for a deep dive into the massive hardware making it happen.
Exactly. And we are using source material from HDTVSupply to really decode all this high-end AV equipment.
Because it is heavy-duty stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is the absolute definition of heavy lifting behind the scenes, especially, when you look at how data, power, and video are all routed simultaneously.
Yeah, and the first piece of gear we are looking at is basically the brain of the network, the QSC NS26-480 plus RAN.
Right, a 26-port network switch.
Made by NETGEAR, yeah.
Yep.
But here is where I need you to explain something to me, because it comes with a price tag of, like, $4,085.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
I mean, I can go buy a network switch at an electronics store right now for $40. So what is happening inside this box that justifies a 10,000% markup?
Well, that markup buys you a device that completely eliminates the need for IT teams to manually configure quality of service settings, or QoS.
Okay, so it is doing the hard work for you.
Exactly. Normally, setting up an enterprise-grade AV network means you have to manually program the switch, right? You have to tell it to prioritize certain data packets so your audio doesn't lag behind your video.
Right, nobody wants out-of-sync audio.
It is the worst. But this switch comes completely pre-configured out of the box to instantly recognize high-end AV protocols.
So think of it like an incredibly biased bouncer at a club.
A bouncer. I like that.
Yeah, like it knows that a momentary drop in a spreadsheet download doesn't matter, but a 1-second drop in the audio stream of the Super Bowl is a total disaster.
Right, right.
So it is essentially this hyper-efficient, pre-trained traffic cop just grabbing those VIP audio packets and shoving them to the front of the line.
That is exactly the mechanism, yeah. It natively understands protocols like QLAN, AES67, and Dante.
Dante, right.
Yeah, so rather than running massive bundles of traditional audio cables, Dante essentially takes hundreds of channels of high-quality audio, turns them into data, and sends them over standard network cables.
With zero lag.
Exactly, zero lag. And this QSC switch handles that traffic instantly.
But it also solves a massive physical problem, too. I mean, power.
Oh, yeah, the cable clutter.
Right, because this switch provides power over Ethernet, or PoE. It pushes up to 30 watts on all of its ports.
Which is huge.
It is physically powering the devices directly through the network cable itself, so you are stripping away dozens of bulky power supplies.
And that is critical when you're trying to fit dozens of devices into a single overheated server rack.
So the QSC switch acts as the brain handling the data and the power. But if that is the brain, what is the nervous system physically pushing those heavy 4K video feeds to 16 different screens without losing quality?
Right, the video side.
Yeah, which brings us to our second piece of hardware, the Wolfpack fixed HDMI matrix switchers. Now, looking through the catalog, I do have a functional question.
Sure, go for it.
Why would a business choose a fixed matrix switcher instead of a modular one?
Well, it really comes down to scale and environment. A fixed switcher, like the 16x16 setup, has a set number of inputs and outputs built right into one single solid chassis.
Okay, so it is locked in.
Exactly. They are lower cost, totally plug and play, and perfect for static environments, like that sports bar where you know the exact screen count isn't going to change.
Got it. And modular.
Modular systems are essentially empty chassis where you swap in input and output cards. You would use that if you are a university or corporate campus planning to constantly expand your setup over time.
Okay, so that 16x16 Wolfpack model means you can take 16 different sources, like individual satellite boxes, and independently route them to 16 different TVs.
Yes, exactly.
But here's the crazy part. Some of these models can push those HDMI signals up to 450 feet using standard CT6 internet cables.
Which is a really long way.
Yeah. Normal HDMI cables usually start failing after, 50 feet? How does the system push that same heavy video a football field length away?
It is a through conversion. The switcher actually takes the raw, uncompressed HDMI signal, converts it into data packets that can easily travel over those cheap T6 cables.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then a small receiver behind the TV reassembles those packets back into a flawless HDMI video feed.
See, this is why you don't hear 20 hot satellite boxes whirring next to your table while you're eating your wings.
Exactly. The system allows the business to hide all that noisy gear in a server closet. completely out of sight.
while still giving them total control over all of it. Because a bartender obviously isn't walking back to that closet to push a button on the front panel every time someone wants to change a channel.
Definitely not.
Right. The control options go way beyond just like a basic IR remote. These switchers use RS-232 serial control and TCP/IP over a local network.
Which are basically advanced communication protocols that allow the switcher to tie directly into the building's automation systems.
So the complex web of routing 16 satellite boxes to 16 TVs is reduced to a bartender simply tapping a channel icon on a free iPad app.
Yeah, it is a masterclass in making the incredibly complex look totally effortless and invisible to the end user.
It really is. So next time you are sitting in a sports bar watching a wall of TVs showing different games perfectly in sync, remember that you aren't just looking at screens.
Yep.
You are looking at the triumph of high-end plug-and-play matrix routing.
It is pretty amazing.
But it does leave me with a final thought for you to mull over.
Okay.
As massive buildings increasingly condense all their video, all their audio, and even their electrical power delivery into a single network switch... into a single critical bottleneck, what happens to our physical spaces when that one pre-trained traffic cop experiences a glitch?
Oh man, that is a scary thought.
Just something to chew on with your wings.